Good day everyone. This is Engineer Casabuena, and in this video we're going to discuss our next topic, which is about action load. Okay. So, ang idea lang sa action load is kapag nagkaroon ka ng application ng stress perpendicular dun sa object mo, possible magkaroon ka ng axial deformation. So, previously dun sa stress strain diagram, meron tayong Hooke's law, if you can remember. And then, basically from that equation, pwede nating apply yung formula ng stress, which is force over area. And then yung sa strain, which is changing length over yung original length. Then, pwede natin siyang i-substitute dito sa equation na ito. And then, arranging algebraically, mag-arrive tayo sa ganitong formula. Okay, so tandaan nyo yan. So, changing length is equal to PL over AE. Yun yung deformation niya. So, yan. To use this formula, the load must be axial, the bar must have a uniform cross-sectional area, and the stress must not exceed the proportional limit. Since dun nga applicable lang siya sa linear proportion or linear portion ng stress strain diagram. If, however, the cross-sectional area is not uniform, the axial deformation can be determined by considering a differential length and applying integration. So again, applicable lang siya kapag uniform yung cross-sectional area. And then yung load is axial. And then yung stress ay within the proportional limit. If ever na hindi uniform yung cross-sectional area, meron tayong other methods for that. Pero ngayon, dito muna tayo sa basic. Okay. So, if ever naman na ang given lang natin is unit mass suspended vertically from one end, or kumbaga parang nakahang lang siya, the total elongation due to its own weight is given by this equation. Okay, so memorize nyo lang ulit siya. So, basically from NL over AE. So, ang nawala natin is yung N. Okay. Or dito. So, yung N natin, which is force, makuha natin kapag nakuha natin yung mass times yung gravity, which is component pa rin ng force, or yung unit niya is force pa rin. Or pwede ring density times gravity from properties ng substance, di ba? Kapag multiply natin yung density sa gravity, makuha natin yung weight. So density mass times mass over volume. So let's say kilogram per cubic meter times gravity na Newton per, or mali pala, meters per second squared. So alam naman natin na yung kilograms times meters per second squared is equal to newtons mass times acceleration. So magkakaroon tayo ng newtons per meter squared, or meter cube, cubic meter. Okay, so let's say dito na siya, and then basically yung m cube, kapag nilagay natin siya dito, pwede mong gawing area and then i-cancel out mo to. So that's why mag-arrive ka lang din sa ganitong equation. Yan, so I hope na intindihan. But basically another equation lang siya na kailangan yung tandaan if ever na ang force mo lang or yung load mo is due to its own weight. Okay, so let's try to solve this sample problem. So given daw tayo ng bar, A36 steel bar, ito. So it has a diameter of 50 mm and is subjected to the loading shown. So determine daw yung displacement at point D, and then yung displacement at point B relative to C. Okay, so may kulang palang given dito, yung sa table natin na binigay ko sa inyo before. Kapag A336 bar, ang E niya is equal to 200 GPa, gigapascal. Okay. So, for our solution, kailangan muna natin hanapin yung force na nag-act sa mga sections. Okay? Ganito yung pag-solve if you want to remember sa statics nyo kapag bar. Okay, so pwede nating magsimula tayo dito sa point D. Okay, so parang method of sections. Sa point D, meron kang 70 kilonewtons, meron kang 1.5 meters. So, to counteract yung normal force at this point, so let's say force CD or normal force CD. So, kailangan lang natin i-equate. Kumbaga, para kailangan lang balance sila horizontally, yung mga forces. So, basically, assuming na lahat ng pakanan is positive, ang force natin dito is 70 kilonewtons lang din. Ika-counter nyo lang yung 70 kilonewtons occurring at this point. Okay. So, sa next is yung sa point C. Okay. So, again, i-balance lang din natin yung forces. Meron kang 70. Meron kang, so ito yung point C mo, meron kang 40 kilonewtons. So, dito, let's say, meron kang force BC. Okay. So, 70 kilonewtons pa kaliwa, 40 kilonewtons pa kanan. So, analyzing, supposedly dapat ito is 30 kilonewtons pa kanan. So, positive tayo. Okay. And then lastly, sa point B, so meron tayong 70 kilonewtons, meron tayong 40, and then meron tayong 80 kilonewtons. Okay. So, let's say, for force AB. Okay. So, yung pakanan natin is 120 kilonewtons. Yung pakaliwa is 70. So, mas mataas yung pakanan. So, assume na natin na ito is pakaliwa para maging balance. And then, ang magnitude niya is 50 kilonewtons. Okay. So, pag i-equate mo yan, summation ng forces at horizontal should be equal to 0. So, from here, pwede na natin gamitin yung formula. Okay. Ng displacement or ng deformation, which is NL over AE or PL over AE, depende sa inyo. So, PL over AE. Okay. Then summation. Since kapag ganito nga, if you can remember, i-recall lang natin na kapag bar, and then merong multiple loads acting on their length, kailangan lang natin hanapin yung forces sa mga points na yun. And then, kukunin lang natin yung individual na PL over AE nila. So, magkakaiba lang sila basically dito sa P. Since iba-iba sila ng forces and then dito sa length. Pero pare-pares lang yung area and then yung AE ay yung Young's modulus, which is yung E. Okay. So, ang P natin, consider natin yung sa point D muna, which is yung force NCD or yung force CD. So, ano siya, 70 kilonewtons. 70 times 10 raised to 3. Didiretso ko na para mas mabilis. Ay, wait lang. Ito na lang. Okay. So, ito na yung P. Gawin natin siyang newtons para uniform. And then, yung length, ikaw consider ito. Okay. So 1.5 meters all over yung area na. So circle siya, diameter na 50 millimeters. So pi, and then 50 millimeters equals sa 0.05 meters. And then kapag ginawa natin yung radius, 0.025 meters squared. And then yung E na 200 gigapascal. So 200 times 10 raised to 9 newtons. Okay. So ang magiging unit natin, so sa force, newton, para tayong meters, area na meter squared, yung modulus na newtons per meter squared. So cancel out yung newtons, cancel out yung meter squared. Matitira should be meters. Okay, so feet lang for displacement, for deformation. So ito yung una, plus, so ulitin lang natin. Okay, yung next force natin is 30, yung 30 kilonewtons. So 30 times 10 raised to 3. And then yung length na 1 meter. And then area, pare-parehas ng 200 times 10 raised to 9. And then plus, so dito pala nalimutan ko, since lahat ng ina-assume natin na pakanan is positive, and then dito sa force AB natin is pakaliwa, so this should be negative. Okay, so plus negative 50 times 10 raised to 3. And then yung length na kino-consider natin is 2 meters. And then yung area, and then yung Young's modulus. So kapag ganito, pwede nyo siyang i-solve individually. So ako sinulog ko siya. So naka-store A, naka-store B, naka-store C. Okay, so ang answer natin dito is 0.00089,127 meters. So ito yung displacement sa D or sa pinakadulo. And then sabi naman dito yung displacement naman at point B relative to C. So dito siya. Wait lang pala. I forgot to mention na kapag dito positive, so meaning assuming na pakanan is positive tayo, meaning yung displacement niya is towards sa right. Kapag nag-negative yan, ibig sabihin yung point D is nag-move pakaliwa, or displacement niya is pakaliwa. Okay. So we can see naman here na mas matas yung mga forces na acting pakanan compared dun sa pakaliwa. That's why pakanan din yung displacement. So sa displacement of point B, basically yung same way pa lang, same way lang din siya, or P. Okay, so kung consider natin yung eto sa BC, okay, which is 30 kilonewtons. Yun lang yung i-consider natin. And then ang length niya is 1 meter. Then yung area, and then yung Young's modulus. So ang displacement at that point is 0.00007,694 meters. Okay, so positive ulit, meaning pakanan ulit yung displacement niya. So, ito lang for axial deformation. So, in this part, we're going to tackle naman yung next topic, which is about torsion. Okay. So, torsion, also known as torque, is a moment that tends to twist a member about its longitudinal axis. And its effect is of primary concern in the design of drive shafts used in vehicles and machinery. A moment is a measurement of the propensity of a force to create motion around either a point or an axis, and is calculated as the force upon the object multiplied by the distance of the force from the chosen origin. So basically, ano lang siya, force times distance. So here, again, yung load na applied is about its longitudinal axis, like shown here. So, hindi siya perpendicular, bagkus parang, or hindi siya perpendicular sa area na to. Okay, hindi siya perpendicular, bagkus parang perpendicular pa siya sa longitudinal axis. Okay. Instead na sa area, or about its longitudinal axis. So yun, if nagkaroon ka ng force applied, obviously nagkaroon ka ng twisting force or twisting moment. Okay, that's why doon nag-occur yung torque or yung torsion na tinatawag. So ito yun. Then meron ka ring angle of twist given by the twisting moment. So from here, ito yung original position niya. Then after nagkaroon ng torque, is yung element na nandito, no, is napupunta dito. Okay, and then yung angle of twist, yung displacement na kino-consider natin. Okay. So meron tayong formula para makuha yung shear stress, torsional shearing stress. Okay. So for a solid or hollow circular shaft subject to a twisting moment T, the torsional shearing stress at a distance from the center of the shaft is given by this equation. So, kabisaduhin nyo ulit. So, basically, yung shearing stress is equal to torque times yung radius. So, kayo na bahala kung anong gusto nyo, kung R or Rho. Okay. And then, yung polar moment of inertia na J. So, T rho over J. Wherein yung, ito yung shearing stress. Okay. Yung T is yung resultant internal torque. Okay. And then yung J is yung polar moment of inertia. Sa iba, C yung kino-consider na symbol for radius. So, ito naman yung mga formula para sa polar moment of inertia kapag solid cylindrical shaft, and then for hollow cylindrical shaft. Iba-iba rin kapag iba't iba yung shape ng object. Say for example, kapag square or triangle, iba-iba yung polar moment of inertia. But for now, mag-stick muna tayo dito sa pinaka-basic. So, yung polar moment of inertia natin, equal lang siya sa pi over 32. And then, times diameter raised to 4. Okay. Or, pwede ring 16t. Or, hindi pala. Kapag pinasok na yung formula na itong J sa formula natin, magkakamap siya sa shearing stress ng ganito. Okay. So, basically, parang nagiging T rho over pi over 32, then D raised to 4. And then yung radius natin, pwede rin natin siyang gawing D over 2. Okay. So, ito, magiging 16. Cancel out yung isang D. Magiging cube. Sa ganun lang siya. And then, ito yung magka-come up. So, for me, ang pinakamagandang way is ito na lang yung kakabisaduhin nyo. Okay? Yung pinaka-general equation, and then kabisaduhin nyo lang individually yung polar moment of inertia. Instead na kabisaduhin nyo to. Pero kayong bahala kung ano yung kung saan kayo mas komportable. Okay. Kapag solid cylindrical shaft naman, ang i-consider mo lang na area is ito. Okay, so that's why outer diameter minus diameter lang din siya. So similar lang din. Okay. So with this given din yung sa torque, pwede rin natin mag-consider yung power transmitted by the shaft. So a shaft rotating with a constant angular velocity is being acted by a twisting moment. The power transmitted by the shaft is given by this equation or formula. So kabisaduhin nyo ulit. So power is equal to torque or in twisting moment times yung angular velocity. So in the SI system, power is expressed in watts when torque is measured in Newton meters, and the angular velocity is in radians per second. For machinery, the frequency of a shaft's rotation, F, or sa iba, kino-consider na letter N. So 2 pi NT. So ako dito ako mas sanay sa 2 pi NT. Pero kayo bahala kung anong gusto nyo. So is often reported. Basically yung F or yung N, ano lang siya, RPM. So it is a measure of the number of revolutions or cycles the shaft makes per second, and is expressed in hertz, wherein 1 hertz is equal to 1 cycle. And then since 1 cycle is equal to 2 pi rad, then yung angular velocity is equal to 2 pi t. So dun siya nag-base. And so the above equation for power, which is this one, can also be written as P is equal to 2 pi NT or 2 pi TF. Okay? So if known na or alam na natin yung power transmitted and then yung frequency of rotation or yung RPM, the torque developed in the shaft can be determined from this equation. So knowing T and the allowable shear stress of the material, we can then determine the size of the shaft's cross-section using the torsion formula. Specifically, the designer geometric parameter J over C becomes this one. So ano lang siya, yung polar moment of inertia over yung radius. So 'di ba kanina iba C yung gamit. So R yung gamitin natin, or rho, J over rho is equal to torque all over shearing stress. So another formula or equation na kailangan nyo kabisaduhin. Ginagamit naman siya kapag gusto natin malaman yung size ng shaft's cross-section, if ever na unknown. So lastly, meron tayong angle of twist na formula, which is sa displacement. So yung angle is equal to TL over JG. Torque times yung length all over polar moment of inertia times yung Young's modulus. So in radians. Okay, so let's try to solve this given problem. So meron daw tayong solid shaft and tube. So basically, ito yung solid shaft, ito yung tube or solid and then hollow. So made of a material having an allowable shear stress of 75 megapascal. Determine the maximum torque that can be applied to each cross-section, and show the stress acting on a small element of material at point 8 of the shaft and points B and C of the tube. So ang hinahanap is yung torque sa solid, and then dito sa hollow, and then yung stress acting at element of material at point A. So basically sa outer shaft sa solid or sa outer diameter, and then dito is outer diameter sa B, and then sa inner diameter sa C. Okay. So to solve this, again, gamitin natin yung formula na given. So shear stress is equal to torque times yung radius all over yung J. Okay. So kayo na bahala kung anong gusto nyong gamitin. Kung gusto nyong idiretso yung polar moment of inertia, Kung gusto nyo gamitin yung formula na to, kayo bahala. Pero kung ako, ang magiging approach ko, kukunin ko muna yung polar moment of inertia for each shaft. Okay? So sa solid shaft, so meron tayong pi over 32. Then diameter raised to 4. So it's equal to pi over 32. And then ang given natin dito is radius, so times 2, 200 millimeters. And then gawin na nating standard, 200 millimeters is equal to 0.2 meters. Then raised to 4. So ang answer natin is 0.000157 07963 meter raised to 4. Okay, so store natin sa A. And then for sa hollow tube naman, again, ano lang siya, outer diameter minus yung inner diameter. Okay. So, ang outer diameter natin is same lang, 0.2 raised to 4 minus 75 times 2, 150. So, magiging 0.15. So, ang answer natin is 0.000107837866 meters rates of polar. Store B. Okay. So, yun, meron na tayong polar moment of inertia for sa dalawang shaft. So, meron tayong allowable shear stress. So, para makuha yung torque, since torque ang hinahanap, basically, yung shearing stress times yung polar moment of inertia over yung radius. So, para dun sa solid shaft, so yung torque natin is equal to shearing stress na 75 megapascal. So, gawin na natin uniform or standard. And then, yung polar moment of inertia natin na na-store sa A. All over. Yung radius natin na 0.1 meters. Okay, so 100 millimeters. So, try natin i-cancel out yung units. So, sa shearing stress, meron tayong Newton per meter squared. Sa polar moment of inertia, meron tayong meter raised to 4. And then, sa radius natin, meters. So, cancel out, magiging Newton times meter. So, tama lang for torque. Again, kapag ka-torque, moment, which is force times distance. Okay. So, ang answer natin for this is 117,809.724,509,6172 Newton meter. Okay, so ito yung torque sa solid shaft. For hollow naman, so same process. Same naman tayo ng shearing stress na given. And then yung polar moment of inertia. So this should be 80,533.991,363.9962 Newton meters. Okay, so ito na yung torque for the tube. So if you can notice, mas mataas yung torque occurring dun sa solid shaft compared kapag hollow. So yung maximum torque or yung stress acting at elements of material at point A and B and C. So para yung sa A is basically ito lang din nakuha natin sa letter A, and then yung for B, kung ano lang din yung nakuha natin sa B. Okay. Or yung shear stress at point A and B is 75 lang din. So para naman makuha yung shear stress at point C, so gamitin natin yung formula natin. Okay. So meron na tayong torque na nakuha dito sa point B. And then ito is i-store lang natin sa C. Okay. So ang torque is yung sa C. Then yung radius natin sa inner diameter na 75 millimeters or 0.75 or 0.075. And then yung J natin na store sa B. So ang shear stress at element C 56250 1, 2, 3. So 4 Newton meter para lang sa units. And then meron tayong radius na meters. Meron tayong polar moment of inertia na m raised to 4. So cancel. So magiging Newton per meter squared. Okay. So ito yung shearing stress at element C. So ganun lang siya for this problem. So we have here another problem. So sabi dito, a solid steel shaft AB is to be used to transmit 5 horsepower from the motor to which it is attached. If the shaft rotates at 175 RPM and the steel has an allowable shear stress of 100 megapascal, determine the required diameter of the shaft to the nearest millimeters. Okay. So from here, magagamit natin yung formula natin na J over radius is equal to torque times torque over yung shear stress. So yung J, or mamaya makikita natin kung paano siya mangyayari, but basically ang hinahanap natin is yung diameter. Okay. So yung diameter sa radius or J over R, basically wala tayo dun sa mga yun. So kailangan natin is torque. Since wala tayong torque, ang meron na tayong shear stress. Diba? Yung sa formula natin, J over is equal to torque over shear stress. So kailangan natin malaman yung torque. So yung torque, makuha natin sa power is equal to torque times yung angular velocity. So meron tayong power na 5 horsepower. Meron tayong angular velocity na 175 RPM. So let's try to convert muna yung mga given natin. So for power, meron tayong 5 horsepower which is equal to 746 watts. So cancel out. Meron tayong 3,730 watts. Okay. For angular velocity, meron tayong 175 revolutions per minute. Okay. And then, per 1 revolution, meron tayong 2 farad. And then, sa 1 minute, meron tayong 60 seconds. So, ang angular velocity natin, approximately, meron tayong 18.33 rad per seconds. Or radians per seconds. Okay. So, from this formula, ang torque natin is equal to power all over yung angular velocity. So, torque is equal to 3730 watts all over 18.33 radians per second. So, ang torque natin is equal to approximately 203.54 Newton meters. So, ang watts kasi natin is joules per second. So, cancel itong seconds. Then, ang joules natin is unit of work. So, meaning force times distance or equal to Newton times meter. So, ito, wala lang naman siya. So, meaning, ito na yung torque, value ng torque natin. Okay. So, pwede na natin siya i-apply dito sa formula na to. Ito. So, again, meron tayong J over reduce is equal to, so try natin gawing R. Is equal to torque over shear stress. So, ang J natin, since sabi dito na solid steel shaft, is equal to pi over 32 and then diameter is to 4. So, pwede rin natin siyang gawing pi over 32 and then 2 times radius. Okay, raised to 4. Or pwede rin namang to continue, magiging 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. So, 16 r raised to 4. So, magiging 16 over 32 or pi over 2. And then r raised to 4. Okay, so lagay natin siya dito. Magiging pi over 2r r raised to 4. So, cancel out. Magiging 3. So, ma-cancel out yung radius sa denominator. So, magiging pi r cube all over 2. So, equal sa torque over shear stress. So, pi, unknown yung radius all over 2 is equal to torque na 203.54 Newton meters all over shear stress na 100 megapascal. So, 100 times 10 raised to 6. So, ang radius natin approximately should be equal to 0.0109. So, try natin buuin na to. Okay. 203.5364. Story. Ito. instead na ito. Ayan, para kompleto na. Okay, so ito is meter. Okay, so tama lang. And then since diameter ang hinahanap times 2, so it should be equal to 0.0218 meters. Okay, so ganito lang siya i-solve for this problem.